What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 27 of my Eastside Hockey Manager Early Access Let's Play here with the Toronto Maple Leafs. And today, I've got for you guys a live comm against the Habs. We are going to be taking on the Canadians. Since last episode, I've played another decent chunk of games. We've got some nice development going on, which I'm going to kind of start, I guess, the episode by talking about, because that's kind of where this save's going. I'm really enjoying the youth development aspect of this game. I kind of like the draft mechanic. As someone who obviously has a background in football and Football Manager, but hasn't ever really done a serious save in MLS, it's a new concept to me, but I really do enjoy it, and kind of trading away picks and planning for the future. So we have had some nice development on show. Ryan Pelon here has improved a little bit since you last saw him. I believe his physicals have gone up. He looks very strong now, and he's a very well-balanced player. He's only 20, and his technicals still aren't superb, but he's been doing a pretty good job for us. He's got 6 points in 31 games. His average rating isn't, superb. He's been playing on our third line of our D-men, and he's done a pretty good job for us. The other big player really making an impact has been Connor McDavid. Kind of unsurprising. He was a player who I anticipated to improve by this episode, because of course last episode a few of our other players improved. He has continued to improve. Everything's kind of improved across the board. His stick handling's gone up by a few, wrist shots improved, passing's improved significantly, creativity is almost at 20, which will be amazing if he can hit that. And he's actually been doing great for us. You can see here a 7.47 average rating for us. 38 games played so far for us in the NHL, 6 goals, 36 assists, 42 points. That's an incredible record for a rookie making his kind of first season, I guess, in the league. And he's done a great job for us, so delighted with how he's getting on. Elsewhere, our youngsters are kind of doing their thing, but we'll move on from that. So looking at the table here, we are dominating the league, we are leading the way, and I kind of have a new goal with this save, and that goal would be to surpass the Habs' record number of points in a season. Now, this was a while ago, but I believe they got 132 points in a season. It was a while ago, and it was back actually when there were 80 games played in the NHL season, not 82. But I think it's a challenge that we can try and do here. Right now, if we were to do what we've done so far this year, again, we'd actually surpass their total with about 6 games to spare, which would be an incredible feat. Not something that I necessarily think we can do this episode, but as you guys can see, we've continued to play superbly. And since last episode, I think there might have been one defeat to tell you guys about in 18. It's been an incredible run of form again by the team. You can see here 9 wins, 1 defeat. Player stat-wise, Riemsdyk and Kessel dominating. They're putting up ridiculous scoring. But this year, unlike perhaps other years, we've got players like Connor McDavid and Radulov really contributing. And even further down here, in fact, they're not even going to be shown. But we have some other players, in the 20s when it comes to points contribution. And we are no longer kind of this one-man team. We have contributions being made across the board. But anyway, obviously, as you guys might be able to guess from that point scoring, we've been scoring a hell of a lot of goals lately. I believe the last game I did was the live comm against the Capitals. I am thinking it was that. It might have even been the Capitals game before that. I can't remember. Am I going crazy? It must have been that Capitals game. How many games have we played since then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, that works out about right. I'm not completely crazy. It has been a few days since I recorded the last episode. So as you guys may have noticed as I just flicked through the results since that Capitals game, we've had some pretty big wins. We started off with a win against the Panthers. We then actually won against the Rangers and then beat the Blackhawks. 2 nice results. And then we won 6-4 against the Flames before a shock result, really, I guess. Losing 3-6. To the Canucks away from home. You can see here they scored 6, which is a tough kind of thing to, I guess, overturn. You can see we had some decent goal scorers here. Kessel and Lukic getting the goals for us. Riemsdyk involved in the assist charts. Radulov and also Andre here. I've given up trying to say his actual name, although I believe it's Lotchno. So there you go. If you're Russian, you can tell me if I got that right. Give it a rating out of 10. But I'm just going to call him Andre. But that was a really disappointing result anyway, to lose 6-3 like that. Fortunately, there's not been too many more of those results. We did actually lose once more, and I forgot about this defeat. It was a defeat against the Avalanche, but prior to that, we did win 7-1 against the Ducks. Wow, we destroyed them. We tore them a new one. Looked absolutely superb this game. Kessel not scoring. Doesn't often happen that, but not that game. As mentioned, we lost to the Avalanche, but we did beat the Oilers just before that. This defeat against the Avalanche, a really big surprise. Perhaps the biggest surprise defeat we've had so far this year, because they've been struggling in their division. They have actually improved of late, but back when we were playing them, they were towards the bottom end of the table. Not quite Coyotes' end of the table, where they've got 19 points from 36. But they weren't doing great, so that was a pretty disappointing result. We lost 3-1. If we take a look at the game stats here, it was a tricky defeat to take, because I kind of feel like we were the better team. We had a lot more shots. Neither team made anything of their power plays. It was just a case of they crafted out some better opportunities than us. I can't complain too much, I guess, because as you can see, they had some really good opportunities from right in front of our net. But yeah, they got some goals between the pipes, and that was annoying. Anyway, the next result was actually a game against the Habs, who of course we're playing today. We beat them 3-0 in this game. And after this result, shortly after, I don't know if it was exactly after this game, but they sacked their GM. They've actually recently reappointed a new GM, and it's actually his first game this game that we're playing against them. So he's got a bit of pressure on him. But anyway, this win here, following the defeat to the Avalanche, really marked a kind of, I want to say, a revelation. Our team just hit a whole new gear, and well, you can see by the scores, we've been spanking teams, we've been scoring for fun. It started off with this win against the Blues, winning 4-1, Pilon getting a goal, Gardner getting a goal. Good to see him doing well, the young defenseman. He's actually not that young anymore. When we started, he was 24, he was a prospect. Right now, he's a feature of our first team. You can see he's a number 1 or 2 talent. He's actually playing in our second line as kind of 4th choice D-man. But all in all, he's just such a well-rounded defensive player for us. And it was good to see him get a goal there. Connor McDavid also getting a goal, which was pretty darn pleasing. Anyway, the next result was just a demolition job against the Predators. Lochno grabbing a goal, Percy getting a goal. Stuart Percy, a player with still some potential to fulfil, the 23-year-old. Been kind of rotating him in and out, but you can see here he's done a really good job for us. He's got 15 points in 38 with an average rating of 7.21. And this was a pretty good game from getting a goal. Connor McDavid with 2 assists. Good to see Cruz get an assist as well. Not got as many as I'd like, and he's been pretty disappointing this year, the kind of young left winger. But I'm going to keep persisting with him because he has shown signs of improvement. And I'm hoping that he's really going to be able to step things up for us. Anyway, the next win was against the Blackhawks, winning 3-2. Again, really good result. Kessel, Riemsdyk and Pilon getting the goals in a second kind of period comeback, which is pretty pleasing. We then, as I mentioned, went on a goal scoring tear. I could cover all these games in details, but I'm just going to flick through them really quick. We spanked Boston 6-2. Yandel getting a goal. He's done a great job for us. Of course, joined us as a free agent. You can see here 29 points in 38. He is the second highest earning player at the franchise, and well, that's looking pretty deserved at the moment. A 7.95 average rating so far this year. He has done a superb job for us. We then beat the Blues, who we'd previously beaten the previous Tuesday 4-1, this time winning 7-1. It was a bit ridiculous. Radulov getting a goal. You can see he's done good for us. 21 assists, 18 goals, 39 points in 38 games. A ton of assists as well. And a really, really impressive average rating of 7.55. Anyway, next game, another 7-goal game. We won 7-2 against the Capitals, who of course we played last live con where we won 3-1. The usual suspects getting the goals. Radulov, Yandel, McDavid, Riemsdyk, Hjalmarsson getting on the score sheet, which was nice. He's had a few injuries this year, but he's overcome them. He's back fully fit. Good to see Eichel as well get on the assist charts. He started slowly this year. He's slowly picking things up. Still not superb, but I'm pleased that he is at least showing signs of process and progress. And anyway, just 2 games left to tell you guys about. First one, our biggest win of this series so far. It was actually nothing all, I guess, after the first period, but in the second period we tore the Sabres a new one. 5 goals for us. Hjalmarsson, Kessel, Lukic, Riemsdyk, Fowler. The scoring list goes on. You guys can get the idea here. We were just tearing teams apart, and again, we did that again against the Lightning. Bozak getting a goal here. He's not the best season, the centre. Of course, we have kind of demoted him to our second line. He's actually got a pretty good average rating, but his points total, not quite up to his standards, and particularly with our second line scoring so well, I kind of hoped he might be able to keep things up. But you know what? Not too much to worry about just because of how well everyone else is performing. So if we look at the statistics real quick, Looking at the point scorers here, you can see we've got James van Riemsdyk leading the way with 61 points in 38. Kessel with 58 points in 37. He's slowed down a little bit, this guy, but he has had a few injuries to tell and speak of. You can see here that he had an injury with a neck strain and he was out for 10 days, which was a little bit disappointing, and that meant that he did miss a few games, which could explain perhaps why Riemsdyk's been able to pull ahead. Colin McDavid, third highest point scorer in the team. Radulov, Lukic, Yandel, Gardner, Lochno. It's been a really impressive year. The players are all contributing superbly. In terms of goals scored, it's really nice to see a range of players kind of getting on the score sheet. We're not kind of relying on one or two scorers at this point. And then on the assist front, well, Conor McDavid has been incredible for us, as has Van Riemsdyk. He's probably eclipsed Kessel a little bit this year, because Kessel, of course, pretty much been the leading man for the previous 2 seasons, and Van Riemsdyk's kind of played, I guess, wingman to him. He's been kind of the second in command. Well, this year, he's really stepped things up, and he's doing well with 36 assists. Anyway, in terms of average ratings, you can see here, Kessel does have the better average rating. Riemsdyk with a pretty solid one as well. Jonathan Bernier, a player who perhaps I don't talk about as much as I should, playing very good this year. You can see he's got a save percentage of 92%, which is pretty impressive, and he also has an average rating of 7.97, which is, again, a pretty impressive average rating for a goaltender, and he's done a very good job for us there. So in terms of our system and how we're going to line up for today's game, which is against the Habs, as I mentioned, they've got a new coach in, so I'm a little bit wary of them, but we're going to be sticking with the team that's performed pretty well so far this year. This is the line that I've pretty much stuck with for the most part. I have been rotating things here and there because we have had a few injuries to speak of. Right now, the team is fit, which is of course nice. Bernier has been out with an injury, which is why he wasn't selected by default, but we'll get him in as our first choice goalie here. But other than that, no massive changes to tell you guys about. It's been a really solid season so far. The team is performing superbly. No trades either, something that perhaps is a little bit odd because it kind of feels like in every other one of these kind of mid-season updates, there's at least been a few trades perhaps on the horizon to speak of. But we've not had too many ourselves so far this year, just because I'm so happy with the roster and kind of the overall balance that I'm kind of concerned that any changes might upset it. You guys might remember I traded for the Oilers' first pick. They actually currently sit in the playoffs in their conference. They had a very slow start to the season, so that's a little bit disappointing. But anyway, okay, well, Percy's just ripped one in from range. I can only assume that's just a ridiculous slap shot. Launched in. We actually lost the face-off there, but they couldn't clear the puck, the Canadians, and we came away with it. We have got a little bit of jumpiness in the match engine. I've noticed that the first highlight of the match engine can sometimes have some jumpiness, and I'll tell you who's not jumping. Well, he might be in celebration, but that's McDavid getting a goal for us on the power play, which is nice. We only had a few seconds left of it as he got that, and we're on the attack again here. Surely not. Surely not. The keeper makes a save. Can we win the face-off? That is one of McDavid's weaknesses, is his face-offs aren't great. Although, to be honest, he's been doing a pretty good job for us in terms of actually winning them. And he's got a decent amount of assists from them. We might see another here. Pulls the puck back and it's launched towards goal. And, well, I'm not sure what's happened there. But all I know is that it's 3-0. And there's only been 6 minutes go. It's worth noting the Canadians really struggling in the league. They're currently sitting outside of the playoffs, which is, of course, why they've had their GM switch going on. Clearly, the board not happy with the direction they're going in. I really want to pile on the misery here against the Habs. If we can make it 4-0 before the end of the first, that would be incredible. We are playing our third line here. Eichel wins it, and the goaltender actually makes a save there. Can Eichel win a second face-off in a row and give us a chance to make it 4 and really assert our dominance in the game? Pulls it back. Gardner there, lighting the lamp from range. The second goal by a D-man in this game from a face-off, which is pretty pleasing. Well, that's one thing I have noticed actually this season is, whilst we had some kind of our defensemen, I guess, contribute over the last few years in terms of assists and whatnot, it's not ever been a massive strength of ours, I guess. It's never been something to kind of write home about, whereas this year it really feels as if, I guess Yandel helps with that, but Gardner stepped things up. Percy's scored some decent long-range goals. But it really feels like the defence is actually contributing to the team when we're going forward as well. Of course, last year we had the best defensive record in the league, and I was kind of concerned with adding Yandel that we might upset the kind of apple cart a little bit. It might be a bit off balance, and perhaps that might cost us, adding a little bit more attacking flair. Don't get me wrong, Yandel, incredible defenseman, and I wasn't necessarily worried about him kind of playing badly and kind of being, I guess, a detriment at the back. But there was a bit of a risk bringing in another kind of, I guess, D-man who can actually kind of contribute going forward. But it's worked for us, that risk, and he's been one of the best kind of probably signings I've made. A fantastic free that we've brought in. He's still got 5 years left of his deal, so that's going to take him way to his late 30s. But he's done a great job for us so far this year, and he got a decent performance right there against the Habs. Of course, that game just ending. I'll just show you guys the stats real quick. All the goals came in the first. Not a lot else to tell you guys about, unfortunately. If we look at the game stats here, good performance. Very good performance, I can assume, because we played so well. You can see here we had a grand total of 54 shots to their 33. We actually didn't win quite as many ball plays or face-offs, but we just created so much more. You can see they really struggled to, I guess, contain us. They gave away 25 penalty misses, and we were able to convert 2 out of our 7 power plays, which is pretty impressive. That's actually something we've done quite well this year with. You can see here penalty power play percentage, of 23%, which is not too shabby at all. Our penalty kill percentage is also one of the better ones in the league. To be honest, some of the teams right at the top are performing really well here. There seems to be a bit of a gulf almost emerging between kind of the teams right at the very top and those behind. Last year, we finished with a win percentage of 75% or 0.75, there or thereabouts. And there was no other teams kind of in kind of the 70% range. But you can see so far this year, the Capitals and the Lightning performing really well. Whereas you have teams like the Devils and I guess a few of the other teams down here who you might expect to be high, like Boston, who are really, really struggling. But anyway, that's going to wrap things up from me, I think, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. As you can see here, we've got some nice point streaks going from all the high-scoring games we've been playing. Good to beat the Canadians. You can see here that we could have been upclassed by them, especially with their new coach coming in. I was a little bit concerned about that. For anyone who might be curious, they actually appointed Dan Hinote, I guess. I've never heard of this guy. Answers on the postcard. Would he be a realistic appointment? Has EHM predicted right? Answer that question if you've watched to the end. If you don't have a clue who he is, just write, not a clue. Just a simple comment. But yeah, that's going to wrap things up for me, guys. Sorry that this episode feels a little bit rambly. There wasn't too much to tell you guys about just because everyone's performing so well. And I guess going through the games that we played, it was very much a case of we scored 7, we scored 6, we scored 8, especially in the more recent fixtures. But I do appreciate you guys sticking by. Hopefully, going into this latter end of the season, as I will be joining you guys with about 20 games left, kind of at the 60 game mark, we can really challenge for that Canadians' highest points total. I guess you guys will have to stick around to find out. If you've enjoyed the video, smash the like button. If you've got any comments that aren't saying I don't have a clue, leave them down below. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.